Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land, and welcome to DC Fans United. So today I'm going to be continuing my series of reviews by taking a look back at Countdown number 10. So I've been reviewing Countdown to Final Crisis all the way from issue 51 down to this point, so be sure and check the previous reviews out with a link in the description box. So this issue was written by Paul Dini and Justin Gray, with Jimmy Palmiotti. The story consultant was Keith Giffen. Scott Collins did the art on this one. The colors are by Tom Chu, and Tom Chu definitely brought his red, orange, and black ink to this issue because most of it takes place on Apokolips. So Ken Lopez did the lettering, and Stephen Rue with Karine Bocanfoza did the cover. So we'll go ahead and check out the cover. It's a pretty good one. It's very reminiscent of what happens in the issue, although it's a little sillier than what actually happens. It's a good cover, though. You see Harley grabbing onto Granny Goodness's leg there, and Holly Robinson and Mary Marvel are attacking her. So it's a good, funny cover, and it's definitely, relates well to what actually happens in this issue. So we start off on the first page, and it's picking up at the end of the last issue. So if you don't know what's going on, as we saw on the cover there, Mary Marvel, Holly Robinson, and Harlequin are on Apokolips. And so Mary Marvel has figured out where the Greek gods are locked up. So apparently Darkseid had taken them prisoner, which we already knew because we'd seen Granny Goodness was pretending to be Athena and leading the Amazons astray. So the events in this story basically contradict what happens in Amazon's attack, but I kind of like this story a lot better. So anyways, there's a lot of action because they have to fight their way through. It's really tough, but they get to where the gods actually are. So you see here on this full page, splash page, it says the gods must be crazy, and then they're at the final part that where the gods are locked up. So they aren't sure how to get in, and apparently they are communicating to Mary. So she kneels there and says, Shazam! And we go to a different page, but on the next page here, and I really like the way they draw Apokolips, and like I was saying, Tom Chu's coloring. I think the coloring throughout this is probably, honestly, one of the best aspects of the comic, but it has a lot of action and stuff too. So we see the lightning strike hit, because Mary had said Shazam, and this is the Challengers of Beyond, or at least some of them, so they see it, and Donna Troy's like, that's not regular lightning, so they decide to go over there and check it out, because they actually think it's Captain Marvel, not Mary Marvel. So on the next page, we get one of my favorite pages, Mary Marvel in all white. She's finally got her powers back. So she went from being Black Mary and having Black Adam's powers to losing her powers and then having his powers again and losing her powers again, and now finally she is superpowered with good powers. So she's got a brand new all-white outfit with a gray lightning bolt, and it's really awesome. We go to the next page, and really well drawn. I love this. You see all of the Greek pantheon there, all of the Greek gods, and they're just like, you guys did a good job, thanks for breaking us out. And Harley Quinn feels that she's being ignored because they're talking to Mary Marvel at first, and she's like, we totally helped, we had plenty of peril, we faced a gajillion ugly-faced monsters and whatnot. And Holly is just like, Harley, shut up, don't piss off the gods. But they're like, yeah, you did help. So they're given powers too. So then that's awesome. You see Catwoman, Holly Robinson was Catwoman at the time. So Catwoman and Harlequin have powers. It's really cool. You see them there. So Harley is super strong, and Holly ended up getting to be a huntswoman. So she's got some of Artemis's power, a small amount of it. So I liked this issue quite a lot, even more than most of the preceding issues. Like when I reviewed issue 11, I enjoyed issue 11, but it was almost just so I could get to issue 10. Like, I've been wanting to talk about this one for a while. So we go to the next page, and Karate Kid is fighting, Una, unfortunately, she's been taken over and is one of the Omacs now. And he doesn't want to hit her, of course. He doesn't want to fight back. He's just trying to capture her and hold her down and try and convince her that she's been taken over by Omac, but it's not working. So then we see Karate Kid's losing, but he gets grabbed by a grappling line and pulled off panel. So we see on the next page, Jason Todd's there, and he basically rescued Karate Kid. He hoists him up, and he's like, we got to get out of here. But yeah, the Omac is there again. And this is really cool the way this is drawn, this panel. panel. Thought the OMAC looked awesome. So it's actually Una, though, so Karate Kid just wants to try and save her, so he says, "You don't understand, help me restrain her." And Jason says, "I have a better idea, let's blow her up." So he's going to throw this bomb at her, but Karate Kid knocks the bomb out of his hand. So Jason just gets mad, and he says, "You know what? The hell with you. I've never been good at rescuing people anyway." And we see him just leave, so I was like, wow, that's a dick move. And Jason just says, "Have fun being absorbed." So yeah, Karate Kid's captured then by the OMAC, and it's gonna kill him, but then it decides to take Karate Kid back to get an autopsy instead. So then we get some of my favorite stuff here. This was really some good action. So Granny Goodness is heading back to the main citadel, and she's got her honor guard with her. She's trying to get back, but man, they get clobbered by Harley and Holly and Mary Marvel. They're all super powered now, so very good scene there with the action. But man, Granny Goodness just leaves. She totally leaves her honor guard to get slaughtered and runs for it. And it's a really good fight. It goes for a couple pages, but Granny gets away. So then Holly's huntress skills come in. So she's actually picks up her scent, and they start tracking her. Man, this was a good issue. It was really well drawn, colored, and I liked the story throughout. And it didn't jump around quite as bad as a lot of the issues do. It's also nice because we're getting down to like things actually happening. So Granny's fleeing. They chase her, and then we see this big bright light, and we don't actually know who it is, but whoever it is says, "Granny Goodness, your orphanage is in ruin. Your world is on the brink of becoming something entirely unexpected." And she just says, "You?" And then, man, this is brutal. You see this, she burns to death. That's her skeleton there, and she's totally burned up. So that's it for Granny Goodness. And yeah, the three ladies, they decide they better leave, so that's what they do. And they run into Kyle Rayner and Ray Palmer and Donna Troy, and they all basically are one group now. They linked up, and then we see some really interesting stuff. So the Pied Piper has been a big part of Countdown to Final Crisis for quite a while. Like, he was in a lot of the early issues, and he's here on Apokolips, and it's really interesting. So basically, Desaad knows that if the Pied Piper plays the right song, they'll get the anti-life equation. So he essentially convinces the Piper to do that, and he starts to, and right when he's about to, the earth shakes and they all fall. So Piper might be dead. Desaad looks like he's dead. It's chaos for everyone. Everyone wants to try to get off the planet, and then we get this big reveal at the end. So I presume this is who killed Granny Goodness as well. Brother I, who's taken over OMAC, has now taken over Apokolips. So there's a big full panel there where you see the giant eye on Apokolips. Pretty insane, if you ask me. So I definitely want to check out the next issue. I'll have a review of that soon. And we had some bonus material at the end. It's the origin of Harley Quinn. So yeah, they often have little stories at the end as bonus material. I thought it was really good, especially since Harley played such a big part throughout this. And I thought she was written really well. I didn't get into the dialogue of the characters too much, but she definitely acted and talked like Harley. So that's all for now. Let me know down in the comments what you thought. Personally, I liked it a lot. It was one of the best issues so far. It's really nice to see Mary get her powers back, and we'll definitely be checking out issue 9. So be sure and subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell for notifications, and as always, thank you for watching and being a part of DC Fans United.
End of line.